Thank you guys for accepting this invitation. So I'm right in front of the historic pot still that my great-grandfather installed here more than 120 years ago. So today what we're going to do is to share some information about the Poli Distillery, what we do, and I will use some slides very simply as a guideline. So we will see, first of all, where we are located, when the Poli family got involved in the grappa production, what we do today, how we produce, how we make our grappas. We will go through the range of products that we produce, and then we will taste some of them online, okay? So quickly, grappa, the name grappa comes from grape being made distilling the skin of the grape. And by the way, the name grappa is protected in Europe and reserved to the distillate obtained by distilling Italian grape, the skin of Italian grapes in Italy. This means that the name grappa cannot be used in France, cannot be used in Germany, cannot be used anywhere else in Europe, but in Italy. This is the European law. This doesn't apply in US, for instance, where you can find some grappas bearing the name grappa because some Italian immigrants moved and made some grappa there. But grappa is a protected geographical denomination. We are located in the northeastern side of Italy, not far from Venice. We are right 1 hour far from Venice, very close to Bassano del Grappa. Bassano del Grappa is an enchanting town that lies at the foot of the Alps. These are the Dolomites. If you like to ski, this is a perfect place to go. And Bassano del Grappa is right there. You can see the town here. It's an enchanting town that lies at the foot of Mount Grappa, where, according to the legend, Grappa was made some centuries ago. As a matter of fact, the name of the city, Bassano del Grappa, somehow means at the base of Mount Grappa. And that is where Grappa was basically born some centuries ago. This is a view of the medieval city of Bassano, the river Brenta that goes through the city, and the historic wooden bridge, the Ponte Vecchio, designed by Andrea Palladio more than 500 years ago. So beautiful place. If you will have the chance to come, you will be our guest, and we will take you to Bassano. In Bassano del Grappa, right in front of the bridge, back in 1993, we opened the first Grappa Museum. We welcome more than 13,000 visitors every month through that door. The entrance is free, tasting is also free. We let people appreciate the history, the background, and the taste of this interesting spirit. The distillery is located in Schiavone, a little village not far from Bassano. We are talking about 10 minutes. This is the exterior of the distillery and the Grappa Museum. We opened a second Grappa Museum in 2011. There we go. This is the Grappa Museum in Schiavone. Also here we offer guided tours and we welcome visitors from all over the world. Now I would like to show you the exterior live. Okay, so this is the entrance of the Grappa Museum. We are in the countryside, so you can see around what we look from the distillery. Those are the mountains. Right in front of us, we have the Mount Grappa, and this is the entrance of the distillery. There we go. So this building is an historical protected building, and this is where we daily work. So we can go inside. Okay, this room is where my family moved on the 15th of January 1885. My family has very deep roots in this area. Are there any other grappa museum in the world? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. There are these two belonging to us. So I was saying that this is Peter has entered the waiting room for the meeting. Sorry, let me admit Peter. There we go. I was saying in 1885, my family moved to this room. We were farmers. They used to live up in the mountain, and they decided to come here because they opened in this very room an osteria. An osteria is a place where you can have wine by the glass. Now, let me give you some information about this family. A family, as I was saying, that has very deep roots in this area. Give me a second. There we go. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to. Okay. So today we are four brothers. I'm the second. My father's name was Antonio, son of Giovanni, like Giovanni Caveggia, son of Giobatta, son of Giovanni, son of Giobatta, son of Giovanni, son of Giobatta. Typically, the grandson got the name of the grandfather. That was a very traditional, non-tradition in our area. Okay, so the roots of this family go back to the 14th century, where we can find this guy, Polo. Can you see Polo? He was a farmer. He was a very good farmer. He owned 4 pieces of land, 40 sheep and 3 cows. And that was the reason why his name became the name of the family in the 15th century. Okay? Now, this is the guy who moved the family down to Schiavon because he wanted to open an osteria. And he was selling wine in the place that you saw before. But he got also passion for grappa. And this is the reason why he decided to buy from the same wineries, not only wine, but also the skin of the grape, the raw material for making grappa. And he decided to install a mobile pot still on a horse-drawn cart. And thanks to this mobile pot still, it could go door to door to distilling the fresh pomace, the fresh raw material that the farmers were giving him. We still have the original mobile pot still in the Grappa Museum next to the distillery. This is the original piece that my great-grandfather used in those days. Now, the mobile distillation was then abolished because the government could not check how much grappa was made and therefore how much taxes had to be paid. And this is the reason why the distillers that used to work with a mobile still had to find a place where to install a stationary still. So my great-grandfather bought the farm that was right behind the osteria, right behind the osteria where he was selling wine, there was a big farm. And this is where he installed the first still. The very first still was composed of three pots. Then in 1959, a fourth pot was added, 1959. In 1964, other four pots were added. And in 1985, again, other four pots. Okay, so every generation added some pots to the existing series. Okay? Okay, we're recording. Now, let me show you. Megan, can you move? Okay, there we go. Let me show you how the farm look like now. So there we go. This is the entrance, still the same after 120 years. And this is the farm that was and still is behind the osteria. Now, on the right side, there were the stable for the cows, right here. This was the place for the cows and the horses. On the left side, above the roof, there was the room for feeding animals, the hay for feeding animals. Come si dice paglia, the food for the animals. So
straw is where they rest. Hay is what they eat.
Okay, so the hay was placed up there, and the ground floor was the room for tractors and the cart tools. Now, on the right side nowadays, we have the still where we distill. Above, under the roof, we have the barrels for aging the product. And below, we have nowadays the offices. Okay. So we are entering the distillation area. Let me take control again. There we go. So these are the pots that we are using today. There are 12 pot stills, and we distill by using steam. Lorna, can you go back and show the guys the meter, il misuratore fiscale?
Other way. I know exactly where it is. There you go.
There we go. Let me show you something. That machine, you can see here on the left side, behind the writing, is the machine that is needed to control the quantity of grappa that we daily produce. You see it on the left side? And it is exactly the same, in the same position after 120 years, measuring in a very precise way what we produce here at the distillery. Okay? Well, Lorna, puoi andare avanti. We normally distill from late August till mid-November. So September, October, let's say almost 3 months per year. We only distill fresh panas. fresh skin coming from the surrounding region. We mostly distill material from Veneto. With a couple of exceptions, we distill the panas of Sassicaia coming from
Toscany.
yeah, it's coming from Tuscany. Ok. Mi vuoi inquadrare, poi li saluto e poi ci spostiamo agli assilo. Ciao guys. Ok, va via. Bene. Thank you, Lorna. Now, we have this still that we use for mainly for red grapes grappas, such as Sarfa. But we have also other two stills that we use for okay, we have other two stills. No, vai giù, vai giù, vai giù. That we use for Moscato, white grapes varieties. These two stills, you can see on the left side, we have a Ben Marie pot still. We use these for Uva Viva, for the wine brandy, and for the fruit brandies. Okay. On the right side, we have a very modern vacuum pot still, which is the one that a part is missing in these days because we are making some changes. As you can see, there is a part of the steel that is missing because we are doing some experiments. The steel on the right side is a vacuum Ben Marie. Vacuum means that we are able to suck the air from the cauldron, and therefore we create a vacuum, and this allows to lower the temperature of distillation, thus obtaining more delicate flavors. We use the steel on the right side, the vacuum pot steel, what we know as Chrysophaea, for distilling Cleopatra, which is one of our grappas. The one that you are carrying is the one from Moscato. Okay. Now, I would like to give the word to vorrei dare la parola to Emilio and Andrea, who prepared some cocktails. Emilio, Andrea, are you ready?
Yep, of course.
Okay.
To finish, we start with the first one. The first one we made, it's called Marconi cocktail. Emilio will do the drink, and I'll do the speech.
Okay.
It's made with white Grambassano. This one made from Vespaiolo grapes, and there is a little bit of red Grambassano and blueberry liqueur from Poli, and a little bit of gin. So it's something similar to a Martinez cocktail, we can say, or a Negroni without a bitter, but I think it's more like a Martinez, more or less. We have, now Emilio is mixing. We have 30 ml of white Grambassano, 15 ml of, if you prefer, I can see even in ounces, if you prefer, maybe in America, I don't know, or it's the same.
Yeah, go with ounces.
Okay, so it's 1 ounce with white Grambassano, half an ounce of red, the red one, and half an ounce of blueberry liqueur and 10 ml of gin. I say ml because 10 it's not in ounces. I don't know how much is it. It's like a little bit more than a quarter of an ounce of gin. And we use a little part, a spoon of vinegar, raspberry vinegar, to give a little bit more acidity. And we choose this one, the raspberry one, because I think it's really nice, the pairing with the red Grambassano. So the drink is seared, and after we serve it in a martini glass with a little chunk of ice. So it keeps it fresh during while you drink it. Unfortunately, you can taste it, but you can try it maybe later when you will have all your products.
What is the name of these?
Marconi cocktail.
Marconi cocktail.
Inspired by Negroni cocktail.
Negroni or Martini. It's like a classic aperitif, Italian aperitif. And we use a little lime peel, the zest, the essential oil of the lime, to give a little bit of more freshness to the drink. And this is the drink.
Enjoy.
Jacopo,
I'm thirsty too. I'm thirsty too.
we drink it.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
Are we going to do all the drinks, or you have something else
No,
to?
give me a few minutes to talk about the Grambassano project.
Okay,
Hey,
perfect.
Jacopo, how do we say cheers? Like, what's the proper cheers in Italian?
We say
Salute.
Salute.
Salute. Well, allora, Emilio and Andrea used two vermouth, the white and the red Grambassano. Let me tell you a few words about this new product. Cerchi il libretto, ce l'ho sulla destra, appena entrato in mezzo al casino. New, relatively new, because my family used to produce vermouth back in the days of my great-grandfather. He kindly left us the recipe. The fact is that he gave, thank you very much, I forgot. I don't know if you can see, is it right or vice versa, the writing? Is it correct? Anyway.
That's correct, Jacopo.
This is the recipe booklet that my father wrote in these days, including 3 or 4 recipes of vermouth, where he listed the different botanicals, Assenzio Gentile, Assenzio Ponto, Assenzio Romano, Salvia Sclarea, Timo Montano, Isopo, Dittamo, and so on. Anyway, the fact is that he didn't wrote the method, just the list of the product, but not the way to infuse and the days and the quantity. So it took a couple of years to understand the best way. But we are very happy of the result. Grambassano, why the name? Because Bassano, as you saw in the picture at the very beginning, was connected with Venezia. Let me show you.
Hey, Jacopo, could you also speak to kind of the history in general of why there's a lot of vermouth in that area of Italy, like in that area of the world?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. Do you see where Venice is located there? There. Venice has been for centuries the main capital for trading spices from all over the world. All the spices coming from the Far East had to go through Venice and then distributed all over Europe and Italy. Bassano has always been very closely connected to Venice. It was part of the Venetian Republic and it was connected through the Brenta River that was going straight to Bassano. And Bassano was the hub, I would say, the hub for the distribution of spices and other products from Venice throughout Italy and the rest of Europe. Because from Bassano, you can easily cross the Alps and go up to Austria and Germany. So not only spices, but also wood, ceramic, paper, jewelry, gold, everything was traded through Bassano del Grappa. And this is the reason why vermouth was very popular in this region. Although the notoriety of vermouth is mainly linked to Torino, because that's where Antonio Carpano brought his first recipe of vermouth. Nevertheless, vermouth was very well known in the eastern side of Italy as well. So my grandfather was producing this vermouth, and we are using the same recipe, but with something new compared to the past and compared to other vermouth. Most vermouth are based on very cheap wines that are flavored with spices. As a matter of fact, those spices were used in the past to cover the flaws of very cheap wines. But in the case of Gambasano, we used two DOC wines from the region. In the case of the Bianco, we are using Vespaiolo. Vespaiolo is a local variety, very floral. The name comes from Vespa, which means not the scooter. Vespa means wasp, because this grape is very attractive to the wasps. So we're using Vespaiolo for the white vermouth and Merlot for the red vermouth. So we are using two DOC wines. By the way, in the case of the red vermouth, it is a kind of exception because most red vermouths are based on white wines colored with caramel. While in the case of this red vermouth, there is no caramel. The color, this ruby, nice, intense ruby color comes from the wine itself. Okay, so we launched them last year, and they've been very successfully accepted in the market.
Jacopo, do the ones that use caramel color and all of that, I just can't think, I guess I could probably go look in my liquor cabinet. Do they have to disclose that? Will they say coloring, artificial coloring, or caramel coloring, or red number 5, or whatever it is? Will those say that on the bottle? Is that required?
I guess so.
We'll have to look. I'd love it if you guys look at your individual kind of collections, because I think that is a super awesome point of differentiation.
We do not write caramel because there is no caramel inside. But I guess that if we had to use caramel, we should declare on the ingredient list. Yeah.
Yeah, Gino just put in the notes, I don't think it's required by US law, but it'd be interesting. I mean, I just think that's a great selling point for us. That's a wonderful tool for us.
In the USA, it's not mandatory to indicates the ingredients, but in Europe you have to write the caramel if you use caramel. Yes. Anyway, the main point here is the quantity of botanicals. 39 different botanicals in the case of the white vermouth, 33 in the case of the red vermouth. Let me show you. There we go. This is some of the botanicals that we use for these two vermouths. It's just a display of the different kinds of herbs, fruit, roots. That is the aloe ferox, this is gentiana, this is timo. There are many different kinds. Each of them needs a different time of infusion. So we do separate infusions and then we do the blend of the different infusions. Well, is there any question on your side, guys? Would be very interesting to get small kits of these.
I don't know if that's possible, Jacopo, because I know that what's interesting is that some of these are things that I know we probably don't even have in the US. Like there probably weren't even English words for some of these things. So it's just, if it was a possibility at some point, it would be interesting to have some of the ones that we don't have on hand to use as a tool. We could take them, you know, to buyers or whatever it is and have people like smell and put their hands on them. If they're very unique, like very unique to the Veneto.
For instance, in the case of the Bianco, we have a Biancospino, Galanga, Pompelmo. Pompelmo is grapefruit. Biancospino comes from the Mount Grappa, while in the case of the red vermouth, we have Cardo Santo, which is also coming from the Grappa mountain, and Achillea musciata, but I don't know the English for these herbs. I'm sorry, but I would try.
What is it, Giovanni?
Achillea musciata.
I don't even know what it is in Italian.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
look at. Let's go get translate here. Let's see.
Okay. Let me give the video to Emilio again.
It says musk yarrow, the translation of Achillea musciata.
Musky yarrow. Okay.
Yeah, it's musk yarrow.
Andrea, like yarrow, like YARROW?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, we have yarrow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Arrow. Yeah. Musk, M-U-S-K, Y, Y-A-R-R-O-W.
Interesting.
This is the translation from Google Translate, so I don't know if it's the right one or not.
I do know what yarrow is, and that is like, that is in English. I mean, I know what that is, but
Let's see.
Interesting.
Bene. What are you going to prepare now, Emilio?
I don't know if you see the translation. It's this one, the one under.
Okay, now we are going to prepare a twist on rusty nail for mix tarpa oro, sambuca, and polimiele. So.
And with of course we don't use scotch in this recipe, but we use bourbon whiskey instead of scotch. So it's yeah, it's a twist on a rusty nail, a really twist on a rusty nail, because it's quite different, but it's fine. So we use 3/4 of an ounces of honey liqueur, Poli honey liqueur. That is a liqueur always based on grapes. 1/2 ounces of tarpa oro, 3/4 of an ounce of bourbon whiskey. And after that, 1/4 of an ounce of sambuca. So it's like, we can say it's a rusty nail with an head of flavor with of sambuca, and tarpa, it gives the particular taste of grapes, of course, of grappa.
Hey, Team Winebow, have you all tasted this Sambuca? Have people like seen it, pulled samples, started messing with it? It is gorgeous. This was one Giovanni and I were able to taste at the distillery with Jacopo last year, and it wasn't in the United States yet. And I don't love black licorice. I'm very picky about Sambuca, but it's so clean. And then it definitely, I mean, it has that, I mean, obviously kind of that black licorice flavor, but it's also very minty, very bright. I think will be really versatile in cocktails.
This is the real Sambuca.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. We use this one in this drink, and 1/4 of an ounce, it's the right, because we tried with a little bit more, but I think it's the right dose for this drink, and it gives the particular flavor of sambuca, of course, and honey works really good instead of the Drambuie of the classic rusty nail. So this is the drink, and if you have any question or something, just let us know, or whatever, you can ask whatever you need. This drink works really good, even with even, I don't know if you have it in the USA, with licorice liqueur of Poli. It works really nice instead of sambuca. It's just a matter of taste.
We don't have licorice here. Sorry.
Unfortunately. Okay, it works with sambuca really well. It's the same.
So we have a great sambuca.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emilio and Andrea. So the Sambuca is another liqueur that my family has been doing for decades. We stopped the production in the 80s when we focused more on the spirits like grappa and eau de vie. And last year we started producing it again because we had quite a big demand from our customers. So we decided to start again the production of
including Winebow.
Including Winebow, wine.
We asked for a sambuca.
And because sometimes we start the production again upon the request of the market, in the case of sambuca. In this case, what we do is an infusion of pure star anise in pure alcohol, and I'm happy that Monique enjoyed this sambuca. It's very clean and not aggressive at all.
Jacopo, Matt, well, Dan asked what the name of that last cocktail was. And Dan, I know we're going to share these recipes with everyone. The Emilio and Andrea were nice enough to put them on slides with everything broken out. So I'll share those with everyone. And then Jacopo, Matt asked if Sambuca was protected and if there were specifications around producing it, the wheres and the whys and the hows.
The name Sambuca is not protected, but there is a regulation on how to make it. So the regulation of how to make it Sambuca is very strict. So Sambuca can only be made with certain ingredients as to have a minimum percentage of alcohol, which is 40%, and a minimum sugar content. So it's quite sweet because of the law. So there is no way you can change the percentage of alcohol and the percentage of sugar. You can play with the quality of the ingredients, the kind of ingredients, Star anise has to be one of them, but you can use also other botanicals besides star anise, but the percentage of alcohol and the sugar percent has to be a minimum, minimum by law. I want to show you some recipes that Emilio and Andrea created. At the end of the meeting, I will send a link to Monique so she can share these recipes with all of you. Sarparita is based on Sarpa Barrique, the aged Sarpa. You don't carry the Irone. Brandy is based on, Brandy Crusta is based on wine brandy. From Lima to Bassano is based on
Uva Viva.
We can try these. Are you ready?
Yeah, we have this one. If you want, we have this one later. We have Sarparita from Lima to Bassano after that, and a twist on a zombie. So
You prefer now
okay, we can do the Sarparita now.
Yeah, sure.
okay, Sarparita.
Giovanni, what's the status of the Sambuca getting out to markets? Because I think was it shipping at the same time as vermouth, or?
Yeah. We had that. We got, I believe, right before it landed, we got 93 points on Wine Enthusiast.
Wonderful.
And just to finish the merchant piece, because before we go to the funny cocktail part, we're going after Molinari, which is probably, Jacopo, if I'm correct, was the first Sambuca to be bottled under that name. It's still like a reference, a benchmark. We priced slightly lower Molinari. That's something that Jacopo and I agree on, you know, to go higher in quality and lower in price. So I know, you know, all of you guys are excited about mixing this with cocktails and things, but in this new scenario, please keep in mind that off-premise sales of Sambuca, wherever you guys see Molinari, please go after it. Okay, I'm not saying to go after lower end products that you know, you can get for free in an Italian restaurant, but you know, whenever you see Molinari on a shelf, please present this one. Thank you.
So Matt just asked, like, what makes it higher quality? Is it just higher quality botanicals? I mean, the like anise, and so it's just higher quality there. And then is the base higher quality alcohol to start with?
The botanical makes the difference and the quality of the alcohol. Also, alcohol, the neutral alcohol might seem the same. It is not really true. There are neutral alcohol and neutral alcohol. There is star anise and the star anise. There is sugar and sugar. There are micro differences that put together can make a big difference at the end in the final product.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. I would say too, everybody pull samples.
Excuse me?
Just our team should pull samples. If they haven't tasted it, then everybody needs to pull a sample.
Yeah. So go ahead, Emilio.
Yep. So Sarparita, it's the classic twist on a margarita. When we approach Poli family and the Grappa, we decided to try something just, I mean, easy. So we just decided to use the Sarpa Oro, the Grappa, instead of tequila. I know it's something maybe not it's something weird, but we tried it. I think it worked really nice because both Grappa and Sarpa Oro and tequila have a rough part, no? You know, it's like in the traditional, they are both traditional products. Of course, tequila from agave from Mexico, and Sarpa, Grappa from Italy. So we decided to try this one. Of course, we don't use the salt on the rim. It's just a straight glass. We use 1.5 ounces of Sarpa Oro, 3/4 of triple sec or Cointreau or orange liqueur, and 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice. We shake it, of course, and we add after the shake in the glass 1/4 of an ounce, two spoon of uva viva americana. That it gives an extra flavor. I really love the American grapes, and so we decided to add this spoon to give more flavor to the drink.
Uva viva italiana.
No, sì, in realtà adesso abbiamo messo l'italiana, ma nella ricetta usiamo l'americana.
Okay.
Now we add the wrong bottle, but in reality we use the American uva viva, not the Italian one.
Okay, let me explain to the guys that we produce two uva viva, which are grape brandies. One is from white grapes, and that's the Italiana, and the other is from red grapes, known as American grape. It's an American variety, cultivated in Italy since a couple of 100 years. But you don't carry that specific variety. You carry the uva viva Italy. Well, so this is the Sarparita, right?
Sarparita.
Yeah, this is Sarparita. Jacopo, they have both uva viva or just the Italian one?
That's the Italian.
Yeah,
The Italian.
oh, no, vedi, solo l'italiana.
Okay. Well, talking about aged grappa, aged sarpa, let me show you where this grappa is aged. Okay, so this is a portion of the area where we age the grappa. There are something like 4,000 barriques. We only use what means dope? Dope.
Jacopo, just to hear you say what means dope.
What means dope?
So wonderful. It's like a cool word that the kids say, like, this is dope. I just like, this is amazing. It's so amazing how you've laid all this out so we can see everything.
Okay.
And I can hear Laura, who's on right now. Laura would be like, this is dope. It's a good thing.
Okay. Well, sorry. So I was saying we have nearly 4,000 barrique. We only use oak from different regions, from France, from Hungarian. We do also use some American oak and lol. Okay, something new. Okay. Aging in the case of Sarpa Oro lasts for nearly 4 years.
Jacopo, ti devo salutare che ho un altro meeting alle 11.
Well,
Bene. Monique, I gotta go. I have another meeting at 11, sorry. I mean at 1. Getting confused.
We
I
will
try to
see you
reconnect
soon.
later if you're still on. I hope I can reconnect. If I
Yeah,
don't, Jacopo.
we're recording this too, Giovanni, so we'll share it with everyone. And Jacopo, we've still got, up to 30 minutes, so we're in good shape. This is wonderful. Thanks, Giovanni. Thank you for helping me
Ciao
organize.
Jacopo, ciao Dario.
Ciao, Giovanni.
Ragazzi.
Ciao Giovanni, ciao, grazie.
Ciao, ciao.
let me see you. Let me show you some other. Lorna, sei storta?
Storta?
Sì. Eccoci. Fermati un attimo. Okay. This is another section of the aging cellar. Lorna, prova ad andare davanti alla cella, quella più avanti, scusami. So aging can last for a minimum of 18 months. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. Prova a entrare di dentro. Okay. Certain, do you see? Certain products are. Fai vedere il sigillo della dogana. Do you see this seal? This seal belongs to the government, to the custom and excise officers. When we need to take the grappa out from the cellars, we have to call the officers and ask them to let us empty the barrels. We use the sealed warehouses in order to get the declaration that the grappa was truly aged, okay? Which means that it has to stay in barrels for a minimum of 18 months. After these 18 months, we continue the aging, not anymore under the control of the government, but we take control. And because we need to taste every 3-4 months the evolution of the product. So we have certain grappas that are aged for 18 months, which is the case of Cleopatra. Then we have Sarpa Oro, which is aged for 4 years. And then we have Grazie Lorna. Puoi tornare verso le cantine. Brava. Thank you. Vieni qua, Rachele. And then we have Poli Barrique, which is aged for 13 years in Barrique. This grappa was made by my father back in 1989. Barbara, vieni qua. Vieni qua. Say hello.
Jacopo, are any of your warehouses, are they temperature controlled, or were there just fans in there for airflow? Or do they just stay naturally cool? Buongiorno!
This is Ginevra.
Yes, this is Ada.
This is Ada.
Oh my goodness. The distillery dog.
And this is This is Rachele.
Ah, buongiorno.
Buongiorno. And my sister Barbara.
Oh my goodness.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, Barbara. Ciao.
Okay. Sorry for this little interruption. Okay.
This is a family affair.
Okay. Ciao ragazze.
It was really wonderful when we were there. Not only did we do this tour and everything in person, obviously, but then Jacopo and Barbara and everybody made lunch, and everybody took beautiful care of us, but we got to meet the whole family. It was really wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Very special.
Thank you. So I was saying 1 year Cleopatra, 4 years Sarpa Oro, 13 years the Poli Barrique. Okay, now before you leave, I would like to give Dario the chance to show you a new app that I think might be useful for all of you. Dario, sei qua?
Sì, sono qui.
So let me give the hosting to Dario, and he will explain something about this new app. The name is Poli Grappa. Grappa. He will show you. Vai Dario, sei tu.
Okay. I don't think I'm hosting now, am I?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I would like to share with you my screen. Here it is. I think it's starting. Very well. This is the app Jacopo is talking about. We've just released it. And this is the first page that you will see after you've downloaded it. Of course, I've downloaded it before. It would have been nicer to download it in front of you, but unfortunately that would have stolen too much time. After the download, you will be asked to register yourself. Of course, I registered with my name and my phone number. Please don't give it to people that hate me, and my personal email. So the first option, if you click here on the sandwich, it is all products. In this screen, you can browse all the products that we have. Down to the newest, which are the newly released vermouths and sambuca, and more importantly, you can select them. You see, I just tapped on it and it said add it to the list. I'm gonna add some more just to show you where it leads us. I will add some of the grappas that I love, especially these ones with the beautiful hand-blown bottles. I can swipe and go through all of them and just add them with a tap on that. Very well. It's also divided between grappas, spirits. Spirits are just eau de vis, so they can be based on fruit or wine, like in the case of Arzente, and wine, fruit, gin, as you can see, and liqueurs. Liqueurs are obviously the ones that are sugared and flavored. Then on Find Your Spirit, this is a wonderful feature that we have in this app, because it allows you to select according to flavor, the occasion, and of course the price, because it depends on the kind of clients that you will gonna meet. Happy hour, for example, let's see where it leads us, or digestive, and when I click on next, it will show me. Oh, very well. Digestive. it leads to nowhere. Straight. Sorry. Jacopo is saying something. Okay. He says that. No, you see, click to find the spirit. Like, sweet. I would say digestive, and there you go. There you go. Now we have it. This is the second feature that I wanted to show you. Now that we have selected the products, in our previous browsing, we can go on selected products. You see here, we've got our entire selection. And on this, tapping one of these two beautiful bottles down here, we can decide whether we want to create a shelf talker, extremely useful if your client is a wine shop, or a grappa menu. So in case of a restaurant or a fancy bar that wants to show an entire grappa menu. Let's say I want to create a grappa menu. Here it says the club sign. I would say Jacopo's drinks. And the city, it will be obviously New York, because he loves New York. Email, I will skip that one. No, I can't. So it will be my email, I'm sorry. Language, English, obviously. And I want to receive, this is amazing, because I want to receive 5 copies of the printed version of the grappa menu. So in this case, I know Jacopo is specifying that we can also skip this selection, but I wanted to tell you. Now that I have filled all the fields, it saves the data, and it's normally quicker than that. I'm sorry.
We're taking up a lot of bandwidth. Dario, this is very cool. This is really cool. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Thank you very much, Monique. I actually love it. Now we have selected the products. We went to selected products, doing the grappa menu, and if I go to File, Archive, I see the previous chef talkers and grappa menus that I've created, and especially the last one that I prepared online for you. It's Jacopo's drinks grappa menu. And you see, this is already in a printable version, and it will end up as a beautiful booklet. All products, they will have their own specification, their own description, their own image, and on the free space here, your customer can fill the price, because obviously every restaurant will fill a different price. That's, I believe that's it for the app. One very last thing that I want to say, I don't want to steal too much of your time, is downloads. This is fantastic in case you need the paper material, POS material. If you go on downloads, you will have all these beautiful brochures and the press kit. The press kit is very, very interesting. You know, all this printable material that I think and I hope will help you through the process of making your customer very, very happy. That's it for me. Jacopo, is there enough? Do you want me to clarify something?
Jacopo's still muted. I love that, Dario. I think too, not only really helpful for our team, but also especially for our Italian customers. I mean, you just get them to sign up and then it's like they can start making their own menus and everything. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying so. Look, the session today's meeting is mostly about cocktails. So I think I will give the line back to Jacopo and to our specialists. Thank you very much. Just give me a second to give back the line.
Grazie, Dario. It was nicely done.
Grazie.
Sorry.
Thanks to you.
Maddie, you got a question?
Dario, yeah,
Yeah.
can you just put in the chat exactly the name of the app so everybody knows exactly what to look for?
Yes, I will type it for you in the main chat. And just in case you wanna take note now, it's very, very easy. If you go on App Store, you will find it under Poli Grappa. It's very, very, very easy.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think I've given the host back to Jacopo.
Well, the way the products are described in the app is by using a new way. We do not want to describe in the typical traditional way, describing the flavor, the nose, the aroma, and so on. But we are now using a different concept, which is giving the idea. Let me show you an example. Come si dice Dario, come si dice un'immagine che dia una evocative image, an evocative image. Sarpa, for instance, is a grappa that is elegant and powerful in the same time, has a nice balance, like a proud white horse that is rich of energy and elegant in the same time. Okay? Morbida from Moscato is like walking in a field of margherite. Margherite is, how do you call it?
It's a daisy.
Daisy. Okay. Aromatica from Traminer is like walking in a forest after the rain, when you can feel the raisin, the pine, the balmy aroma of the forest. Po Elegante from Pinot Nero gives the emotion of walking through the vineyards in the autumn, and so on. Po Secca from Merlot is like a nice walk in the mountain in wintertime. So it's reinvigorating, like walking in the mountain in wintertime, and so on. Amorosa di Dicembre reminds of the long necks of the Modigliani women depicted by this famous painter, Italian painter, Amedeo Modigliani. Vespaiolo reminds me the beauty, the grace of the three graces sculpted by Canova. Okay, so these are just examples. Cleopatra reminds of the silky touch of a scarf on your neck. So it's so subtle, so delicate, like a scarf of silk. Sarpaoro, after 40 years of aging, maintains the power, get rounder, more sophisticated, charming, like a Malaysian tiger. Okay, so these are the kind of images that you will find in the grappa menu and on the talking chef talkers that will be printed through the app.
I think it's really smart. I think there are people who think all grappa is grappa, and people maybe have had a neutral or negative experience sometimes, and they just kind of think it's going to be this very rough, and so when you just assign different profiles like this, I think it's really, really smart.
Thank you very much. Now, Emilio and Andrea, are you ready for?
Yeah, sure. We have 2 more cocktails if we have enough time, of course. I don't know how much we have. We still have
3 minutes.
Okay.
3 minutes. The last one, zombie.
No, it's not the last one.
You prefer zombie or from Lima to Bassano?
Zombie.
Zombie.
Fancy one.
Zombie.
In a tiki glass.
So it's more or less like the, it's made, the base is an agricole rum. We use Clément rum Cambleu. And the Poli part is Camomilla? Camomilla, it's the same. I don't know if it's the same. Okay.
Chamomile.
Chamomile. Okay, perfect. Chamomile liqueur. It's 1 ounce of chamomile liqueur and 3/4 of Clément Cambleu. You can see the recipe on the screen, I think. And we use 1 ounce of pineapple soda. This is an homemade soda, but it's really easy. It's just fresh pineapple with we blend fresh pineapple, sugar and water, and we use half an ounce of fresh lime juice. That's it. It's more or less like a tiki drink, but with more flavor, more flower of chamomile, of course. And we kept the tiki part with pineapple, and we combine it with the chamomile. And of course, Clément Cambleu, that is the agricole we use. It works really, really nice. We use just 3/4 of an ounces because it has 50%. It's 100% proof, so it's a full proof.
It looks beautiful. It looks very summery and wonderful. I wish I had one. Salute.
Lucky you guys.
We are in the garden, so we can drink it. Unfortunately, you can't.
Well, talking about the chamomilla, this is another historic product of the distillery. We used to make it since back in the 40s. It's very simple, but not banal at all, because you have to choose the right chamomile. Chamomile is coming from all over the world. It's a bit the same situation like star anise. There is star anise and star anise. There is chamomile and chamomile. In order to find the right chamomile, you have to go all over Europe to find the right one. You have to decide the right quantity and the right timing of its use. Because in the case of chamomile, it's a matter of relation between quantity and timing. Because if you need a large amount of chamomile for a very short period of time, in the case of chamomile, that's the way it works. We have other infusions where the infusion can last for 1 year. This is the case of the licorice. You do a grappa with infusion of licorice root that you do not carry. In that case, the infusion lasts for 1 year because the root is very
They're probably very dense.
hard, and it takes time to get the aroma out of it. In the case of the chamomile flowers, they release the aroma in a matter of 7, 8, 9 days, depending on the outside temperature. And then we have to squeeze the chamomile flowers, add some sugar, and that's it. This liqueur is perfect to relax when you go back home in the evening after a very long, hard working day. This is just a perfect way to end the day in a very relaxing way with your wife. So I think it's a very, very nice liqueur that can be used straight on the rocks or in cocktails. Bene.
Love that. I always think of chamomile like chamomile tea, and so it is always very relaxing. Yeah.
This has the same, exactly the same aroma of a chamomile tea, but on an alcoholic base. Instead of water, hot water.
So it's better.
Excuse me?
So it's really better.
Well, go ahead, Emilio and Andrea, with the last one.
The last one
Yeah.
is from Lima to Bassano.
So this is a twist on a pisco punch. So pineapple-based drink, generally made with pisco. We decided to use uva viva, that is more or less like an Italian pisco. I mean, it's always grape-based spirits. So we use uva viva italiana in this case. So you have it in the USA market. This one. We use 1 ounce and a half of uva viva, 30 grams of fresh pineapple, sliced pineapple, and we smashed, sliced and smashed, of course, and 3/4 of fresh lime juice. Okay, here we are. And 3/4 of mineral water, just because it's a punch and we need a little bit of water in it, and 4 spoons of custard sugar. So the idea is just to use, I mean, our own pisco, the Poli pisco, instead of pisco from Lima or from Chile or from Peru. We use it in this classic drink. So we are used to throw it, but if you want, you can steer. It's the same, more or less. It's the same.
Actually, sorry to interrupt, sorry to jump in while Emilio is finishing the mix. Uva Viva is actually a pisco, other than the fact that it's done in Italy. And I hope you will have the chance to taste it, or you have tasted it already. It is actually much smoother than a pisco that you will have from Peru, because of the way it is distilled. This one is distilled in bain-marie, which is a much softer way, much more delicate way of warming up the raw material that you distill in. That's it. I just wanted to add this. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Dario. So yes. This is like a pisco punch, but we made with our own Italian pisco. That is uva viva italiana. That's it.
Bravo. It looks gorgeous.
Salute.
That seems like a very easy switch, you know, just to go from one grape spirit to another grape spirit, but with the quality of distillation, that seems like it would be really beautiful.
Very easy drink.
Love it. And I'll share this presentation after this too, so we can all make them all this week.
You can find the receipt on I don't know if on the maybe not on the app, but on the website you can find quite all of these receipts from Lima to Bassano, Zombie, and the only one it's Marconi cocktail that it's just a new recipe for this Zoom. So you maybe find it later on the website or on the app.
Jacopo, you're muted.
Okay.
I was saying, I'm sorry I'm not there to tip you because you deserve a nice tip. You did a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacopo. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Bene, so Uva Viva, and there we go. We basically shared some information about the range of products. We have other products that Winebow is carrying, but we have no time to go through the whole range. But I think the idea was to go through some main information. Is there any question from your side?
Yeah, Dan just posted, he just asked if the Sambuca is made clear by distillation after maceration, or if it's macerated after distillation, then filtered.
There is maceration and no other distillation. There is no other distillation after maceration. It is clear and filtered. It has to be filtered.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, does anybody, I mean, Jacopo, you were over prepared for this. So you're such a nerd like the rest of us that you just answered all the questions as you presented. Yeah, we've got Jacopo for another 2 or 3 minutes. So if anybody has questions, we've got Emilio and Andrea, if you have questions of them as well. There were a couple people that couldn't join us today, so we'll share this recording back out with everyone. I think this is very appropriate for our teams and everything too. So we'll share it with everybody at Winebow.
Okay.
Any additional questions, team? I was going to say, you can
on
unmute.
the chat or voice, it's the same. We can see the chat too if you need it.
Okay, so I would end here. This is the range of products that we produce and the kind of images I'll already show you. Important to know is that there are not many distilleries around Italy making grappa. Altogether, we are 130-ish, more or less. But only 18% of the grappa in the market is made in an artisanal way.
What defines artisanal, Jacopo?
And that's a good question. That's a good question. But I would say a combination of factors, both technical factors, meaning the use of a pot still, and the way to select the raw material, the way to store the pamas, the way to distill, the way you handle the distillation process. If there is a person behind every choice that lead to the final product, which is the case of this distillery. Every single bottle of grappa that goes out from this distillery has to be tasted before by myself, my brother, or Roberto, which is the technician that works here he has been working here for more than 15 years. So the three of us are taking care of the distillation and evaluation, blending, every single step that brings to the final product. This is the steel that we use for the red grape grappa, and these are the two steels that I showed you before that we use for the Uva Viva, the fruit brandy, and Cleopatra on the right side. Okay?
Well, Jacopo, I hope that next time we see each other, we're all in Italy with you.
Or taste the drink too.
I think that's what we would all like. And two, if we have questions, we can email them over. If you guys, once I share this presentation, if you have more questions or as you're thinking on this, we'll send them over to Dario and to Giovanni, via Giovanni. Jacopo, Dario, Emilio, Andrea, cheers to all of you. I know this was a lot of work to put this together, and I think this is really one of the best overall kind of educations we've been able to do. Jacopo, this is very special. I know that it's a lot of people and a lot of time and a lot of resources to share all of this with us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I hope we will have the chance to see face to face in the next future. Thank you for the support and the business that you give us. It's very, very important to us. It's very, very important to us. So
absolutely.
We do really appreciate every time you think to this company that has been existing for a long time. And my goal is to take good care of what my ancestor has done in order to be able to transmit, hopefully, to the next generation. So we are all working together, and your help is very, very appreciated. Thank
Salute.
you.
Salute. Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much, all of you.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Ciao,
Thank
ragazzi.
you.
guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Qualcuno poteva fare una domanda? Ah.